When he first came to me and said that he wanted to try something, I looked at his tall self like he was crazy. But I thought, you know, he's willing to try it for me. Why not? Let's try it. You're wanting to do this for me. I'll do this in return for you. Yeah, we'll try it. Because it was simply a guessing game. It was a study. Nobody knew anything about how its reaction was going to be. And like I say, it's the best way to sum it up, in my opinion, is it is Superman in a bottle. I now have, I think it's 37% kidney function left. I am no longer considering dialysis, and I am not in, transplant may still be in my future, but if it is, it's way off in the future. It's not tomorrow or even next year. It's way off.
And how does that make you feel?
Wonderful. I feel like I'm sitting on top of the world whenever I first got the news of how well things were doing. You feel invincible. I mean, like I say, like Superman.
Let me get you some tissue. I'll be right back.
Okay.
The risks of a drug like this. You said that you went into this thinking, I don't know what it's going to do, but that you were willing to try anything at that point.
We didn't really know of any kind of risks at all. Because, I mean, like I said, we kind of went into it blind-eyed, or at least I did. Went into it blind-eyed. From what I understand, this drug was used many, 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 many years ago, hundreds and hundreds of years, for other stuff, but never had been used under kidney research. And there again, I know I've said it already, Superman in a bottle is the best way I know to put it.
April, explain that this is a research drug, and that is why they are doing this, so that they can come up with the complications and the side effects and stuff. That's why it is part of the research process.
Okay.
Yeah, tell me about from the standpoint of research. Did you have to sign papers that said, I know that this could be a disaster, I know this could kill me, I know this, you know what I mean? Were you at a point where you had to just basically go, all right, I'm willing to take any risk there is because this is what I need to do to try to get better?
I was willing to go into the research because it was just that, it was research. If there was something that I could do to help them, any doctor, learn more and be able to help somebody in the future, not have to go through some of the problems that I had to go through, or to, you know, somebody's 17 years old and they see that they're starting to get kidney problems. If me learning, helping them learn by injecting this drug on a daily basis to see what its outcome was going to be, then yeah, it was worth it. And come to find out, its outcome was really, really good. It's proven to be better for what they were testing it for than what they thought it was going to be.
At this point, have you had any side effects from the drug that you know of?
At this point, the only side effects I've had is a little mustache trying to grow because it is steroid-based. My blood sugars have run a little bit higher, which is a concern for a diabetic. That made it a little tricky on getting the doses right. We tried to do it 3 times a week. You couldn't do 3 times a week because you couldn't incorporate the insulin in a proper dose to be able to keep your blood sugars regulated. Once we kind of weighed out a little of this, a little of that, and it took some playing between the 2 doctors coordinating along with myself, and we finally gotten it to where the blood sugars are now running more stable. And there again, like with any kind of steroid type something you take, you tend to be a little hungry, a little more hungry actually than what you usually are. So you tend to eat a little bit more and have a little extra masculine hair growth in places that, you know, women aren't used to having.
Now, steroids, is that something you can take long term?
Not long term. I took the first trial was for about a year and then came off of it. I was off of the drug for about 6 months, and we did see a little bit of the numbers starting to elevate again. So we went back under a lot lower dosage, and I've been on a much lower dosage now for about 3 months.
And how long are they telling you you can stay on this medication?
At this point, we're still not sure how long we can do the medication. That's something that is still in the works of finding out if it's going to be something that's going to need to be treated all the time. If it's going to be like maybe treat for 3 months, off for 4. We're not exactly sure at this point. That's still under the study between them, from what I understand, on trying to figure out which is going to be the best way to keep it in your system, but to not use it on a regular, everyday basis for the long-term effects.
And at this point, they've talked to you about where your numbers are and looking at how this is probably going to delay, if not negate, the need for dialysis or transplant. Can you talk about how that feels?
To know that because I've done this little injection, it could be the reason that I don't have to, it's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, like I say, on top of the world. I feel like I've already got a new kidney. It's just in a little glass bottle, and I have to draw it out in a syringe a couple of times a week. You tend to look at life like normal again. For a while, I was thinking, dying's got to be easier than living like this. And that was honestly my thoughts. I even actually said that to the doctor once, those exact words. And now, I think, wow, I'm glad that he stomped my foot and shut the door in my face whenever I said that to him, because look where I'm at now. I'm not healthy, per se. I'll never be healthy. I haven't been healthy almost all my life. But I'm a whole lot better today than I was 2 years ago. And it feels wonderful.
What else can you talk about? What am I missing? Cool.
You can fool around with it. You know, it's pretty
I'm
cool.
not fooling around with anything. You crazy? I'll just push the button. You'll be fine.
See, I'll even turn the light on so you can see it.
You know, this is a beeper. Remember beepers? Look at a beeper.
Oh, yeah, we'll pay.
I have people, if it's on my hip at work, will ask me all the time if it's an MP3 player. I guess they see the little wire and...
This is great. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So, how are you, Ross, on getting the shot wide enough so that she can hold that up and see it?
I can see,
Hey, hold it up just in front so you can kind of show it to us.
I mean, if you want a wide shot, we can get that. If you want a closer up of it.
Can she hold it up like right at her chest level?
Yeah, hold it up there.
Hold it at your chest level.
Right about there?
Yeah.
Oh, so here's what I'd like you to do. Can I have it down by your side and just pick it up and go, this
Down
is
there?
my insulin pump, and just tell me about it.
Yeah, describe it a little bit.
Hang on 1 second. Okay.
This is my insulin pump. It's made by Medtronic's MiniMed Diabetes. It's actually the new one. This is the Revel. Whenever you check your blood sugar, it reads into here in the computer. Very technology stuff. I don't know how it all works, but it's wonderful. It'll read in here, and it'll tell you what the blood sugar is. You've got things that you've got programmed in here that I could tell you about for 6 weeks. You have your basal settings, which are what you get every single hour, and they're different. Every hour is not the same. What I get at 8 a.m. may not be the same as what I get at 7 p.m. Those are changed frequently by myself and my doctor to keep the blood sugars where they're supposed to be. I'm actually hooked to the sensor on this one, which is another computer little gadget that you wear, same situation as the insulin pump. And it reads to the pump and tells me what my blood sugar is every 5 minutes. So that makes it a lot better because it's not exact, but even though you check your blood sugar, you may check your blood sugar 15 times a day. You've still got 8 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 p.m. You don't know what's going on in between those little areas. This helps to fill in those gaps to where you know what's going on. You may not know exactly why, but usually you can look back And you think, well, it went really high, really fast, and you can pretty much learn why. And it helps you in the future because you can look back at what happened over the last 3 days and say, well, between this time and this time, I had this happen, and that means I need to change the dosage for that reason. And it's really awesome for that reason.
That's so cool. What I'd like you to do is kind of do the same thing, pick it up and look at it and kind of talk about it for a little bit. And he's going to get in tighter, so we got a shot of you kind of holding it close up.
Try not to put it down, try to
Yeah,
keep
just
it
kind
in
of
one
keep it in your
place.
hands and talk about it the way you did before. You can move it around, anything like basically you're just repeating what you just did.
Okay, I was going to say, what do you want me to talk about it now?
You're going to tell me the exact same thing. So we're going to get you saying the exact same thing. We're just going to get it from a different angle.
Got it.
Okay? So go ahead and set it in your lap there. And then just go ahead and pick it up and start telling me about it. And you can just keep looking at me just like you did before.
Okay. This is the insulin pump. It is made by Medtronic's MiniMed Diabetes. I've been on this pump for about 6 years now. This is the new one. This is the Revel. The Revel actually gets in smaller increments. The other one would only go in 0.5 dosage. This will go in 0.25 dosage, so that's a cool thing. With the insulin pump, it's got a lot of things programmed in it. You program in your basals, which is how much insulin you get per hour. No dose is the same. What I get at 8 in the morning is not the same as my noontime dose. And then you've got your boluses.
And show us the face.
Yeah, do what you were doing before with it there.
You got, turn the light on. Whenever you check your blood sugar, it will read into here, and you can tell it what your blood sugar is. And then it knows how much insulin that it's got detected and calculated as far as to what you should receive at that particular time. And then you got to tell it whether you agree with it or not. Looks like a very technical little thing, and it really is, but it's actually very easy to use. Mine is also connected with a sensor.
Can you show the face of it towards the camera, please?
Yeah.
That better?
That's good. Yeah, just hang on to it there for a second so you can get a shot of it. And feel free to just kind of show the buttons and stuff.
Okay.
Keep it in that same position.
Mine is connected with a sensor, which will show you what your blood sugar is every 5 minutes. If I can make it work.
Okay, turn that face towards us again. There you go. Just like that.
Which is actually, it's a pretty neat little thing because whenever you check your blood sugar during the day, regardless of how many times you check it, you've still got little gaps. You may check it at 8 a.m., but again at 10, but you don't know what happened during that 2-hour period. The little sensor, you can kind of keep an eye on the graph and see what's going on in there and give yourself a reason as to why it happened and whether or not you need a dosage change.